to my 85 months of dreadlocks update. I have now had dreadlocks for 85 months. That is 7 years plus 1 extra month for luck. What is going on at 85 months? Has anything changed? Well, dreadlocks don't do a whole lot of changing once they reach maturity. Once they've been around for as long as mine have, you don't really notice much changing month on month. However, did a bit of traveling this past month. Some of you will already know I went over to New York for a little bit. If you're interested, I will put some of the New York pictures up just before the credits at the end. And before I travel, I like to sort my dreadlocks out a little bit. Normally when I'm at home, I don't really care. I let them do their thing. I'm a lot more patient with them when I'm at home because, you know, I'm just sitting around. Dreadlocks can do what they want. However, before I travel, I like to give them going over and make sure that they're not going to bother me while I'm away, because the last thing I really want when I'm on vacation, when I'm traveling, is to have to worry about some annoying bit of dreadlock that's pulling or standing up or loose hair annoying me. I like to be able to ignore my dreadlocks. Previously, I would always trim my dreadlocks before I went away in summer, so for a good 2 or 3 summers I would give my dreadlocks a good cutting across at the bottom, lose some length, would make them lighter, would make them not so warm when I'm moving around in summer, and it would make them quicker to wash and dry. And when you're traveling, you want to be able to wash and dry them pretty quick so you can get back on with what you're doing. However, I haven't given my dreadlocks a proper trim since I started Lazy Dreads. Lots of people ask me about trimming dreadlocks, and I've promised that when I do properly trim my dreadlocks, I will film it and talk people through it and talk about trimming dreadlocks, but I just haven't done it in the entire time I've been blogging. But before I went on my trip, I did neaten up some of the tips. I did not cut any dreadlock, I just cut off some of the loose hair that was on the tips. I have loose tips. I have pretty much always had loose tips. When I first had my dreadlocks started, I had blunted tips, and I kept those for a while because they were neat looking. But then when it came around to cutting off all my nasty, waxy layer that I had originally, but once those were cut off, blunt tips went away, and I've had loose tips ever since, and I must say that I much prefer loose tips. They drain water faster, so they dry faster, and I don't get residue building up in the tips. So I prefer loose tips. However, they do get a bit mad when they're starting to be like really messy and wild at the end. I've had my dreadlocks long enough to know that my tips are never gonna lock up, like naturally blunt themselves. So if I have loose tips hanging out, then they're gonna stay hanging out. So I went around and I trimmed off some of the more annoying parts. So if you want to have a look, they're a little bit neater on the ends. However, they're all still loose on the ends. I didn't cut into any dreadlock. They're all still loose, but they're more paintbrushy now rather than as long and wispy as they were before. When I do come around to doing a proper trim, when I trim my dreadlocks up for real, when I actually cut into some dreadlock and have to lose some length, I will film that. I will make a video. I've promised a number of times. Lots of people have asked me, I just haven't done it yet. I do think that maybe the trim is coming around soon. I don't know, it depends how hot summer is. Normally summer will drive me to do the trim when it's getting hot, and I just want to be able to wash and dry the dreadlocks faster and, you know, get on with what I'm doing. I've said that a number of times, and if summer isn't all that hot and we get into winter, they'll hang around. But the length is starting to become a little bit impractical now, in that if you've seen my washing and drying video, you'll know I wash my hair, then I get out of the shower, and then I like to shake my hair, sort of headbang it out. Gets a lot of the water out, and of course any water that you can shake out is a bonus because you don't have to squeeze it out or blow dry it out or whatever. Once that water's out, it's out. So I like to shake my hair out. Unfortunately, my hair is now at a length where if I stand in my bathroom and shake my hair, even if I stand right in the middle of my bathroom, I either hit the wall or the shower. I know, like first world dreadlock problems. It's a little bit annoying because you got your nice clean dreadlocks and then they're starting to smack against all sorts of things in the bathroom. So maybe the trim will be coming soon, but I like the length. It's a difficult decision. So the tips being sort of cut up a little bit here and there to sort of balance them out a bit, that is the main difference between 85 months and 84 months. They are really sort of nice and light at the moment because I gave my hair a deep clean after I got back from my traveling. I like to do that. I either deep clean my hair before and after, or at least after, sort of removes the travel from my hair, makes them sort of nice and light. So that's kind of why I'm moving them around a lot, because they're so light and nice. I love my hair after I've given them a deep clean. I got a bit of loose hair going on, but it's because it's warm and when it gets humid I get annoying loose hair. But it's not quite so bad now as it was a little bit back because the deep clean had some sea salt in, and I mean, sea salt is magic stuff. It's the only stuff that I've used on my hair where I actually notice a difference straight after. So when I get to swim in the ocean, if I've spent a few days at the beach, swam for a few days, I can actually notice between pictures before and after that my hair has gotten nicer and locked itself up, the loose hairs and stuff. I had some sea salt in my deep clean that I did when I got back, so it's kind of made my hair a little bit nicer, but still got a bit of summer frizz going on. Someone asked me this week if they could check out my roots. So they're not all that pretty because I let my loose hair knot up by itself. So there's a lot of loose hair, as you can see here. There's a little baby dread that formed out of loose hair that is now attaching onto this dread. So they're not all that pretty, my roots, and they're all kind of congoing together. But if we have a look, that is sort of a root there, and it is locked up. I can squeeze a finger through there if I wanted to, but that's how far my dreads at least have locked up. Get a lot of questions about roots because especially young dreadlocks, they're loose and people are scared that the dreads are growing out, but you just have to stick with it, and over time they will lock closer and closer to the root, and once they're locked to the root, they're locked for good and you don't have to worry about them anymore. So we'll go around, we shall take a tour. I've had some questions this month about new dreads forming out of loose hair sort of around the neck, so this is one of mine. This one is probably about 1.5 years old now. It's not all that long, but it's kind of thick here where the loose hair balled up and then it's continued to grow out. Here's a one, kind of messy with some loose hair attached to it, but that's a baby dread formed out of new growth and it's hung around. I've had lots over the years, but most of them get attached into another dread, and those two, they seem to be hanging around, so I count those when I count my dreads up. So we'll have a look around. Still have this annoying hair here, never ever ever wants to go away, but you know, weird Congo action going on here. Can't really explain this one. Looks fine when it's down, don't notice it, but if you hold it like this, that is a weird dread. Lots of Congos. A former Congo, this was probably 2 or 3 dreads at one point, but tips have been cut off. But we'll have a look around. Here at the back. I have no idea what it looks like at the back. Can't see the back of my own head. Ah, these are kind of stuck together. Might have to deal with those because this is thick enough as it is. Not sure whether it needs this one attaching to it as well. And yeah, these 3 probably need to be dealt with. This side seems to have more thicker ones going on, or maybe it's just the way that my hair is laying, but this one is quite thick to say it's close to my face. Not sure how many this used to be, at least 3 or 4. Of course the one that looks like a little man, all sort of hanging around. Look, lots of thick ones hanging around on this side. So those were my dreadlocks at 85 months. I will mention my essential oil of the month. Sometimes I mention when I'm trying out a different scent for essential oils, and I was just gifted with vanilla essential oil. This is what I'm going to be trying out this month, making my dreads smell like vanilla in soaks and sprays and things. So for those who are interested, vanilla is going to be my essential oil scent of the month. It smells like ice cream. If you have any questions, comments or queries regarding dreadlocks, myself, anything that you think I can help with, you can leave it down in the comment section below. If you are Facebook inclined, you can join the Facebook page at facebook.com/lazydreads. I got interaction there with people, contests, giveaways, things of that nature. Dreadlocks of the day, also on the Facebook page. If you're looking for information, tips, guides, tricks, advice, help, you can find all my content on lazydreads.com. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you again next month for 86th month of dreadlocks. Thanks guys, farewell!